And we're back for game number 2 in this best of 5. It's the grand finals for I-League, a $277,000 LAN tournament, the second of the season in China. The brackets were a little bit unusual, and it may turn out that Vici Gaming versus IG was the real grand finals of this event in the semifinals, but it's the old boys facing Vici here. They'll look to turn this match around, and well, game 1 they went for the Zeus. It didn't work out. They just couldn't deal with Tiny Wisp in the end, and as we head into game 2, of course, I'm LD. I'm joined here by Cinder, and Cind, we're seeing a slightly more versatile opening here from OB with the Void Mirana.
Yeah, it's the exact opening that Vici Gaming used in game 1, I believe. Those were their first 2 picks, I think.
Yeah, they picked the Tiny Wisp.
Pretty sure that was their
phase,
opener.
yeah.
So it's a very classic opener from 681 that is still strong, I think. Even with the nerfs, I still consider Void a very strong hero, and Mirana is pretty much the same. Got a little bit of a change to Leap, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really make much of a difference. So still a good combination of heroes to draft early on. There's going to be the Skywrath Mage, I think, was the first overall pick here by Vici Gaming.
Yes.
Interesting to see them pick Void Mirana into that. Skywrath is actually really good against both of them, but it still makes a lot of sense. It's about who gets the initiation and reaction times, who's faster, who has the better vision, and Vici Gaming probably are going to be okay with this, having Void Mirana picked up by the enemy team. And there's the IO ban that you were hoping for. Or, I don't know if you were hoping for it, but that you thought OB should go for it.
I'm kind of hoping for it, man. I want to see something new from Vici. We've seen their Tiny Wisp, we've seen their Draw Visage, and they won't get either. So, we saw IG yesterday when they played against Vici. They banned these in the first phase, but OB kind of rolled the dice, hoping Vici won't pick either combo in that first phase, or feeling if they do, they'll be able to counterpick it. And then they're able to ban it out in the second phase. So, I'm liking this a lot better for OB so far.
This draft just has a lot of flexibility. This time they have secured their late game with a Void Mirana. They have the Shadow Demon Mirana combination. Perhaps it's a support Mirana, then maybe they'll get 2 other cores now. The fact is they have more options. This is not locked in place. There's multiple ways of playing this game, and I think we'll get a lot more info right now with the 4th pick, and so will Vici, because it's really important right now for Vici to adapt to this. They currently don't know, and they won't after the 4th pick either, actually, for sure, whether Mirana is a support or a core, but they can start planning for their laning stage way better. Playing into Shadow Demon Mirana, there's very few heroes that can actually do it, so perhaps Vici Gaming might want to change their plans. They might have initially wanted to put the center off lane, but now they could safe lane him, Viper mid, and then get an offlaner who can jungle right from level 1, because this lane is kind of impossible to face, so why even bother?
Well, if they want to go for a jungler, we've seen the Ice 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 Enigma. Black has played Centaur in the past. It doesn't really give them the best late game, but it would give them a hero that farms very quickly and a decent amount of teamfight to boot. So he could start in the jungle. Maybe he denies a creep or 2 before heading there. That's an option for him. There is Nature's Prophet, not something Vici Gaming have run a lot of lately, but it's always out there for Ice 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 to pick up. And anyone else? I guess there's Doom as well. They have run that occasionally, not so much in 6.82 though. And he is significantly nerfed against this Faceless Void until he gets his Aghanims. Does not disable the backtrack or the bash any longer when he dooms him. Yeah,
and even the additional 0.2 cast point on the ultimate, I think, is a really big deal. Just having another 1/5 of a second to react in, to get Time Walk off, to get a Blink Dagger off, whatever it might be, really does make a big difference. So I think that was one of the best nerfs in the version for me, actually, was the additional cast point on Doom. I like that change a lot. And yeah, he's kind of fallen off. He was falling off towards the end of 681 as well, and I'm not sure why, to be honest, because I still feel like the way the games were played and the way lanes were put, that Doom would still work excellently, but teams started backing a little bit away from it and trying out something different here. It is going to be a Kunkka now, coming out from the old boys. He has exceptional synergy with everything on their lineup. This is a really good pick.
The only change to Kunkka was that X marks the spot's cooldown is worse at level 1 by 1 second, and it's the same at level 2 and better thereafter. So he received a slight buff in that regard, and I thought this hero was incredibly strong in the previous patch. We did see him occasionally with the Shadow Demon. We saw some support Kunkka at TI4. The old DK was running that a lot, and it's a hero that I would like to see more of. Like you said, great synergy with Chronosphere, with Disruption, into Arrow, into Torrent. Lots of cool combos here for OB, and it's a fairly low cooldown ultimate to play around with here as well. On the side of Vici, they go for what I imagine will be the Ice 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 Enigma. Possible they run this as a greedier support pick, but generally when we see them go for it as of late, it's been the offlaner for Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, and I would be pretty surprised if he even goes on the lane. I think he'll just sacrifice the creep, or rather convert it, and then go to the jungle probably, because technically if you play it really well and you use the demonic conversion and you stand back with your hero and you're able to farm with the eidolons, you can get something out of that lane, but even then, you can still easily get caught off by some sort of smoke gank or rotation, and any of these openers that the Radiant has will kill you. Enigma has no escape mechanism at all. He's a very fragile hero. So I think the safer pick is going in the jungle, and there's no real risk connected with it for Vici. The times when I'm usually a little hesitant with whether or not you should put an offlaner is, let's say this Mirana was a Leshrac, and he could skill Edict level 1. Then suddenly your tower is gone really fast, but it's going to take them some time, and now that the towers are even less important, I think abandoning the offlane will be something we see more frequently now, because it's just not worth going there.
I'm wondering what this 5th pick will be. They banned the Pugna, and I was going to say, I think it might be to pick a Terrorblade, because Pugna has been shown to just hard counter these illusion heroes with eggs. Perhaps also worried about getting pushed down early, but I think this Pugna pick was specifically designed, or ban was specifically designed to set up a stronger Terrorblade game, so I do like it a lot. Can they make the Terrorblade work?
Well, there is no real counter in Vici Gaming right now. He is, like you said, an illusion-based hero, so his main weakness is heroes that can get rid of the illusions fast. Now, the one thing about Terrorblade's illusions compared to, I think, every single other illusion-based hero, I think he has the best illusions in terms of ingoing damage. It only takes 200%. Or is this additional illusion damage taken, but that's a little bit unclear. But I believe these illusions are a bit more tanky than most other illusion heroes, at least, like Naga Siren, like the PL we used to have. Now the new PL is a little bit weird, but I don't really know how he exactly works yet. And he's also unpickable. But yeah, they're going to grab the Sand King for FY, and I think this is a really good pick. When you're running into a Terrorblade and you don't have AoE damage, fix it. Else he will win the game alone, almost late game. If you can't kill the Illus, you're done for. So great last pick from Vici, and I think this time around it's kind of swapped around the teams, right? Because last game, if it went late game, you couldn't really see OB winning it. Now, for me, it's the other way around. The amount of late game on the Radiant side is absolutely disgusting compared to the Dire.
Yeah, if they can hit that perfect black hole, probably at any stage they've got a shot, but just hitting it at a certain point gets so tough against the Chrono. And with that, we may have a level 1 clash. We'll try to introduce our teams here while we wait for it, shall we? On your Kunkka, Didi about to walk up the hill as the Void. Vici in position. Are they going to do it? Oh, he pokes his head up. 5 heroes waiting for him. Now the Burrow Strike. That's going to actually dodge through the arrow, it looks like, of FY. But, well, will the follow-up matter? Didi forced back. Nobody dies. But they forced out Sho's Metamorphosis, so he won't have this for a decent chunk of that early laning stage.
This is the longest cooldown non-ultimate in the game by a long stretch. I think the second highest one is Tombstone with 60 seconds, and this one's 140. I like to think of Terrorblade as a hero that has 2 illusions, or 2 ultimates, rather. Both Metamorphosis and Sunder, incredibly long cooldown at level 1. Sunder scales a lot better towards later on, but it's an ultimate that a lot of Terrorblades, at least in pub games, don't even skill on level 6 because it's so extremely situational and you don't want to get in close in the first place. But in this kind of game, you're on the Centaur.
He picked up a double down, but he's tanked an arrow from Long DD. That skirmish for the rune off the bat, ending poorly for Vici Gaming. And of all heroes to feed a first Bloodsind, they fed it to a Void.
Yeah, that's really obviously not a good start. And they're even going to counter-ward here as well. OB getting off to a great start here. Mirana will have to find some way of getting mana, though. Long DD started without clarity. Okay, he's going to send one out in the courier now. So he will be refreshing himself and getting ready to fight somewhere else once again. And with 820 on that Shadow Demon, and just looking at the side laners for Vici Gaming, there's pretty much no one who will survive the gank of Disruption into Arrow. Sand King can potentially avoid it, but everyone else will die. And that's kind of a luxury to have when you're playing the support duo, because often you're playing against 1 or 2 heroes who have, like, let's say something like a Time Walk on a Void, or some sort of invisibility skill or whatever, but there is nothing on the Dire. Although what they did give Ice 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 a little bit of space. He did start in the off lane. I think he might change his mind soon.
Yeah, for the time being, he's sending those conversions in to just kind of harass and annoy 820, but these supports are not particularly level dependent, so I do kind of agree with you that there's a decent chance we'll see him leave this lane. For now, though, he's trying to slow down Zhou, and well, he is hanging around. I also want to point out that the Void made an effort not just to go... He walked up into the enemy jungle, he boarded off the standard stack spot for the Sand King, and then he even went the extra step of body blocking this camp as well. So he's been very hell-bent on just slowing down the FY Blink Dagger early on, and now he'll start to enter the lane and get his experiences. The bottom lane actually does get pushed in thanks to those denies, so it looks like Ice 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 will get a lot of early experience here, but has to be careful of that reflection into disruption combo. They're wrapping around the Mirana. If they just get a range for that initial slow, he's done for. But not gonna
really surprising they didn't just disrupt him there. He's a free kill.
Maybe they're worried about him.
Maybe not, actually. The conversions are there.
Yeah, the
so
body
I think
block,
that's what,
maybe?
Yeah, that's a good... It's actually a good call from OB, my bad. They need to wait for the conversions to be gone. Ice 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 will easily block the arrow with those, so...
Even Super's coming.
On the contrary, nice play here. But Long DD doesn't have leap. He's dead.
It's a level 1 Mirana. They have disruption. 820 gonna disrupt him, but Ice 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 comes in. We'll plink him down. He just stops moving and gets Malphus done. But they might lose 820 as well to these tower auto attacks. He doesn't have a salve, awful. No HP regen, no disruption. 2 kills fed away to a roaming Viper.
Great rotation from Super as well to make that call. Moving to that bottom lane, very, very nicely done.
And they did see it with the sword.
This puts Ice 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 in an incredibly good position. Not only has he not died for the first 3 minutes, but he's now level 4. And he got all the experience for that Shadow Demon kill as well, so... He's looking really good. The small opportunity that OB had to make the kill on the Enigma, they didn't take the chance until the conversions were out, and then when they were, they couldn't do it anymore.
DD, so. He wanted the time walk out, backtracks the stomp, but not the double edge. Needed to backtrack both there. So he'll end up going down. I do want to point out in this top lane, since we were just looking at it, that Black is already at 14 denies. Your Void is only level 2 despite getting the first blood. And, well, it was the first blood at the 0 minute mark, I guess. So
he's getting shut down really hard.
But he is getting shut down.
The fact is, he kind of can't go to the last hit, to the creep wave to last hit. If he goes in, there's a risk he gets silenced by Skywrath, and then he gets burrow struck, and then he's dead with the combo, exactly like we saw there. Like you said, he even got a little bit lucky, but still didn't survive it, so...
They're going in for disruption. No, can't get in range. Good awareness from Super, and just really hanging back, because... Ice 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 will probably feel like he can get more aggressive. Super is going to leave the lane and head to pick up a bounty rune. He'll claim it. He walks back into a long DD. There is a disruption arrow, but they need that third hero to get this kill. And without it, they'll just be forced back. So looking at the Sand King status right now, Sind, there's only this camp that's been stacked. Fortunately, no golems. He's gotten lucky there. And they're looking for the dive bottom lane, but they just can't seem to kill Ice Ice Ice. We thought he'd go jungle, but he's level 5 against the tri-lane. Finally, they get the disruption, but Conversion's in position to body block this. Not an easy kill. They'll slow him with Reflection. They'll just do it with auto attacks, and in the end, they do end up getting the kill. The Conversions get the counter kill, though, and look for a secondary one as Long DD leaps away. Meanwhile, mid lane, the Kunkka will go down to a roam from Fenrir. Oh my goodness. Even with the tri-lane, they still can't get clean kills.
From, I think, full health to Conversions alone. There was no Malefice even being used by Ice 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 there. That's just flat out a misplay there, and pretty unfortunate because OB just got the exact gank they needed in this bottom lane, but giving Ice 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 that bit of gold back is, yeah, kind of makes it a waste of time almost. Arrow, not gonna land.
Compare these offlaners. Ice 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 is level 5.5, and he's also slowing down the Terrorblade, who's only got 28 CS. Your offlane Void, who got first blood, is 3-0 for CS, and he's level... he's level 3 right now, about to hit 4. And he's not even shutting down the Centaur, who's 33 and 26. But that offlane Enigma, it seems to be just such a reliable hero in Ice Ice Ice's hands.
He's going to be level 6 at 6 minutes in the offlane, which is really good. He could have had the same amount of experience in the jungle, and more gold, I think. But it's probably been worth it just for the amount of focus he's taken from the Radiant. The thing is, if you abandon the offlane, you go into the jungle, the enemy supports obviously don't even need to deal with you, and then they could have roamed other lanes. And even though Ice 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 has died once down here, the trade-off has easily favored him in comparison to going jungle. And he's also preventing Terrorblade from getting complete free farm. Enigma is actually extremely good against solo heroes. A hero like Terrorblade can't stand against him one-on-one in lane, so if they don't move the supports down here again, he's going to lose the lane.
Yeah, for now his CS is not that great.
21 denies as well on ISIS. Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. Meanwhile, Sankate has finally started to stack. They've got 3 points in X. They can go in on Super, but backup may could be coming soon. Boat to fly through as well. It's a big one, but the follow-up isn't there. Even with the double damage, Soulcatcher only now used very late into the engagement. Stampede now can turn this. FY charging forward. Who's he going to go for? On to 820. The Viper back into the fray. Disrupted and held in position for a time, but... well, even through that, he'll end up going down afterwards. Another cleave attempted. Super still surviving. And Black will just continue to farm that top lane out. So they lose their Shadow Demon. They commit a lot, and once again, just fall short.
It looks like... today so far, it just looks like Vici Gaming is on a different tier. And I think it's what we expected, that they were the favorites, but still not the best showing from OB. I think their early game support performances in this game and the previous one kind of left something to be desired. They've made a couple of misplays. They haven't really been effective enough. They found 2 kills in 7 minutes with a Shadow Demon Mirana against arguably a lineup that should be really easy to gank in multiple lanes, but just haven't really accomplished that much. And as a result, they've lost all 3 lanes, I want to say. Yes, Terrorblade is getting good farm, but compared to how I feel like this lane could have gone, I want to call it a 3-lane win for Vici Gaming. They're ahead by almost 4,000 gold and 3k experience at 7 minutes in. That's generally... I don't have an exact stat for this, but just off the top of my head, I feel like it's very rare that teams come back. Even from a lead at this point, I think it's like maybe an 80% or more win rate with this kind of start, so they really have their work cut out for them now.
Yeah, and they're about to get the big item, the Blink Dagger on the Centaur. To go along with that, FY, despite this camp being blocked off early, he made the best of it. He stacked this one, and now he can farm it. Again, this, I think, is the second time that he's farmed this camp. We saw him doing it earlier. And with this going down, he's going to be very close to his own Blink. About to get his Epicenter online, too. And this is despite the Void's manually body blocking one camp, Sentry Warding another. FY just finding his farm regardless. And you have to expect Vici Gaming will be very aggressive as soon as Black grabs his Blink and the Sand King picks his own up. So it's not just that they have the good starts in, but they have items coming which will allow them to make use of this. As they go in mid lane onto Showy, he'll boat to try and keep himself alive, but Viper just keeps on pounding away at him. Manages to plink him down, and Super gets a nice kill there in the mid lane.
And with that, Fenrir is getting close to level 6 as well, and they have some great setup for the Mystic Flare. They've got Sand King stun, they've got Black Hole, Centaur Blink stun, Malefice is even pretty decent when it gets leveled up. Ice currently has level 2, but it's a 1-second stun on level 4, which is enough to land a fairly good Mystic Flare. And even the Viper Strike with that extreme slow.
Caught out top lane. Silence can follow this. Yeah, they'll Stampede in. And then they'll follow up with the double edge, just to make sure they get that kill. The death of the offlane Void. He has managed to hit level 6, and he is getting close to Tread, so that's something at least. Well, on the bottom lane, Ice, he's trying to fight against this Terrorblade Illusion. Constantly pushing in. Long DD also being pursued out mid. Super not able to finish him off, but does a lot of damage to him and continues to farm. 1,400 gold. I'm imagining we'll just see that early point booster for him. He may go down here, though. Not disrupted. X into Tort, into Boat. Everything for Super, and it's enough to get the kill. A much-needed kill for them.
Yeah, they had Chronosphere as a buffer even, I think. I'm pretty sure DD was level 5 or level 6 when he came in there. Just gets the level 7 now, so... yeah, at least one return kill going the way of OB. They definitely need this right now, and if they... I think the way to play this game for them right now is they still have, I think, a couple of smokes, actually. They have one on the Mirana. They have one restocking in 20 seconds, and just getting 1 or 2 crucial kills right now will buy them some time. And Terrorblade is still a great pick in this game. I still consider mainly Sand King his opponent, and although he will have his Blink now at 10 minutes, Sand King will not be able to deal with Terrorblade on his own in a 40-minute game, for example. So they need to buy time and get him there, and I think getting just a couple of key ganks early on will at least secure them a little bit of, at least a couple of minutes, I want to say, with a couple of kills to get Joe to where he needs to go.
Yeah, so basically buy him some breathing room. That sounds like. Well, we'll see if they can get that. Breathing room is going to become a rare commodity, and from my point of view, with these double blinks. Not to mention Fenrir, who's about to hit level 7 on that support Scarith Mage. He's really had a powerful start this game. And your Sand King is getting his levels 2 as well. Whereas you look at these Radiant supports, both of them only level 5. Now you see FY Sand King gets the level 3 burrow. He did go back for the 3rd point in Sandstorm, making his jungle more efficient. But we'll delay the max rank burrow. We'll see if they jump 820 here. And if they get this kill, Sind, they've got Enigma position to take a tower. But meanwhile, mid lane, there's been a Chronosphere onto Super. He's gone for a Vitality Booster. Not sure if that's enough to tank up through all this damage. Ice just seconds late. He gets off the Black Hole, but there's 0 backup. He's probably going to pay for this as well. X was used right as the Stampede comes out, but he's going back into Terrorblade's damage. Oh, the timing not quite right for the Torch. Still DD. Time walks in, instant stun with the bash. Now the turn can come. Black in, Epicenter through. FY connects on 2. OB possibly losing 3. A bleep out from long DD trying to run. There's no Burrow mana, but there is a blink. It is some auto attacks. Long range double edge. Secures that kill. A 3-for-2 exchange in the end.
Melee range.
Yeah, questionable.
Yeah. A great call from Vici, though. I really like that they chose to go for that fight anyway. Even though they lost 2 heroes, they still realized that in that situation they could take this fight going in from the back with all the cooldowns on the Radiant. And Black with a great dual stomp, as well as the double edge, securing some kills. He's even going to go in DD now. Oh, he backtracked the double edge with level 1 backtrack. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Black. He's even getting bashed now. Who's going to win this one? Oh my god,
sucks.
5 HP. Oh, how lucky can you get? DD.
That sucks.
Oh, he did have big balls right there, that's for sure. Even going for it after the backtracking the double edge seemed like a risky play, but...
Meanwhile, Shadow Demon just gets dominated by this Skywrath Mage Viper duo mid lane. All they needed was the Ancient Seal and a couple of auto attacks. Down will go, and now Vici look to push this lane in. They are still building towards the mech. The Buckler recipe picked up. The headdress now online. And we're just going to see these heroes tank up, it seems, as far as your cores go for Vici. They've got their blinks. Now they just want to be able to 5-man, take fights, and then take towers after that. And we'll see FY and Black smoking up, heading straight down the bottom lane. I think there'll be a hunting for Zhou, who is keeping his farm up, Sind, and now pulling very far ahead. He was once getting out-farmed in lane by the Centaur, but now he's a solid 30 CS up, so not someone they want to leave unchecked.
Yep, and they won't.
Well, Zhou. Oh, that's not good. Burrow straight comes through from FY. Stop, double edge. Can he get off of the ult? Nope. No chance.
He didn't even have the mana for it anyway. It's really expensive on level 1. It's a 200 mana ability. Which I think is also the reason a lot of players elect to not get it early on, because most of the time you want to mana for it. Oh, good chrono from DD.
Torrent, and the boat can follow this up. The boat was held quite a long time, but perfectly timed. We'll secure them that second kill. And that's well worth it. You're losing your Terrorblade. Still a good overall trade, and they jump in further. Looking for Super here. They get the bash again, DD. He does have a level 3 bash, so that's to be expected to some extent. Disruption. Turning around in the nick of time to save him from the Mystic Flare. The nuke was used on the wrong hero by Fenrir, but he gets off one more. Will there be a backtrack? Backtrack.
Is he going to gamble it? He is going to gamble. He could have suicided to the neutrals.
Nope.
No RNG there.
Oh, yeah, they got the Scarlet Mage kill in the end as well. So.
And they're chasing for more. To have so much confidence in backtracking from that play at top.
I am so good at this hero. Blink into initiate from FY. Burrow straight came through. But now they're forcing Ice off the fight. Xiao might get caught though. Stop. Double edge. Terrorblade with the Metamorphosis damage pounding into Black. They can't kill off Xiao. He's going to end up surviving. This TB's out of control. They need to shut him down. He gets a double kill. Caught behind the tower. He does have his ulti, but he's got nobody to use it on. Can't get enraged. Silenced at the final hour. He'll end up going down. They lose 2 of their key heroes there in the end. Xiao will escape. And a big swing there. Overall, still favoring the Radiant pretty heavily.
They just managed to pull back this game completely. Just when they needed it, they really stepped up their rotations and their teamwork here. Especially the Chronospheres and the boats from Xiao here have been really on point. And now I'm starting to worry a little bit for Vici Gaming. They had such a great start. Now that it's pulled back to 0 and Zhou is starting to find some really good farm in the Terrorblade, they kind of have a clock ticking here. And one thing they could do is try to get Roche, but they don't have Medallion, and just with Enigma and with the new Roshan Pit, I think it's difficult. This is what you would usually do in 6-8-1, but at this point it's a too risky play, and if you look at the Radiant lineup, if you get caught in the pit by this combo, your whole team is just gone. So they're probably going to try to play it safe here, and get especially the mech on Ice, I think, is the biggest item pickup they can get right now. This is a 16-minute mech. and we're starting to see the price they've paid for not putting him jungle here. He kind of had to go for treads in the lane, he felt, and that delays the impact.
He whiffed his Burrow Strike. He's gotten caught in the Chrono now as well. Only hit an illusion. FY with a rare miscue as the boat smashes the face of Super off the planet. They blast him away. Now they look for more on Fenrir. He's been X'd. He'll be pulled back in. Epi still cooling down. Can't even use that. It's a great Burrow from FY. That time hitting 4 heroes. They'll still lose their Scarlet Mage. They're so far 2 for 1. Now make it a 2 for 2. Ice casually strutting through. Now a 2 for 3. Vici Gaming recover the fight and look for that 4th kill. FY, another Burrow in. He's isolated long DD, but has no backup for this. And
we'll get another Burrow soon.
Does he? Oh, he does have the mono with the stick charges.
Yeah.
They're chasing. Arrow, though. Maybe not enough to keep him out. Couple auto attacks. Ice should arrive just in time at the Malefice. And it will go the way of F. Nope. Leap. Okay. One more Malefice tick. Just enough damage. So, in the end, it does go the way of Vici, but tower went down for the Radiant. Did you see if it was denied? I don't think it was.
Not sure. But that was such a clutch play by FY and Fenrir. I want to point that out. They were 2 against 4 pretty much right there. Get a 3 or 4 man stun from FY, and the follow-up, the perfect Mystic Flare on, I think it hit Terrorblade only, and because of that he was actually taken down there, and that kind of set the pace for the fight, for the comeback there from Vici. So playing really well under pressure here. They've pulled a lot of it back now. And we'll see now with the mech on Ice and Super picking up a cloak. I think their teamfight just got a hell of a lot stronger. There's much more pressure when the fights break out on OB to execute their combo perfectly, because I think if you just do a decent one right now, you're not going to kill any of these heroes anymore with a mech and a cloak on the Viper. Not
to mention, as soon as the Chrono ends, you can just stampede them away, unless there's an X to pull them back. So Vici Gaming have that reset option, and they will smoke now. They dropped a sentry just to ensure that there's no Observer Ward in the lane, and there's not. And they'll make their way down towards the bottom rune. They can grab a bounty rune here, won't be spotted by the Radiant. Nice 86 gold into FY's pockets. He is building towards an accent. We sometimes just see the Veil as that first big Sand King on our Force Staff, but after the
I think it's a Scotty. Oh, here we go.
Big 2-hero Burrow. The follow-up stomp. Mystic Flare's there, dropping them low. Bringing one down. Long DD. Killed off on the outskirts of this. The boat comes through. Ice still has Black Hole, and I'll use it on DD, pulling him back in and killing him off in the end. The Void will end up falling. Epicenter was here. Ice will fall. A nice Kunkka crit, though, shall we? Potentially turning this fight around to the other direction. They try to deal with Super. A 2-hero Torrent. Shall we with the big plays, but an even bigger 2-hero Burrow from FY comes in again. They're going to lose 4, make it 5, and that was a dieback from the Shadow Demon as well. 6 in the end.
6 for 2 overall. Really crisp execution from Vici Gaming. The opening there from once again Fenrir and FY with the Burrow Strike Mystic Flare combination, just get 2 kills right off the bat. And even though it's a great turnaround from the Radiant, they don't have enough oomph when they've lost 2 heroes right in the start. They basically turned around and fought a 3 versus 5 and almost managed with the buyback, but this is incredibly expensive right now. And I think we're reaching the point now when Joe would have liked to have a lot more farm. He's still building the classic Terrorblade build where you go Drum into probably Manta style and then Scotty. But one thing that's very important for this hero is he is not that good at playing from behind. He needs the map under his control to farm effectively with the illusions. And when the lanes get pushed in and you're constantly under pressure and you don't really know where you can go, especially considering the dire vision right now, really good aggressive wards right here. He can get killed by Sand King and Skywrath alone. This duo could kill him from full health by just not even using Epicenter. I think Burrow Strike and Skywrath ult is enough. So
maybe with the Manta, he can Manta out and get his ult off, but he's still got to complete farming that first. Manta out of the silence, I should say. Sind, I do want to take the moment to point out just how ridiculously farmed FY's Sand King is. He is 7-2-10, and he's got 7,800, almost 7,900 net worth. He's the most farmed hero on his team, and he's not far off the enemy Terrorblade. This is, in theory, a 4-position Sand King. FY has just gotten enormous this game. And we're actually going to see an egg for him, assuming he wants to complete it. Hell, maybe he should go Scotty and go for the carry Sand King.
I'm wondering what the reasoning is with getting this over Veil, because you see in most cases that Sand Kings will prefer Veil. If you do the math, it makes your ultimate way more potent than the Axe upgrade. You'd simply do more damage, but of course the Axe gives some really good stats as well, so you can make an argument for both I I personally think Vale would have probably been better here because it's not just about Sand King, it's about his team, and he actually amplifies a lot of their abilities with a Vale too. Viper has a lot of magic damage, Skywrath is a no-brainer, Centaur as well. Hell, even Enigma has some good magic damage, so... But he is going for that, I think maybe he gets both, honestly.
Are they gonna jump top blade now? The arrow didn't connect, and they're just sieging the tower for the time being. That Terror Blade really laying into the tier 2 top and willing
nice
to fall. Denied by the Viper, though. But Super may pay for this. He's trapped on the Chrono. Stomp comes through. Connects on 2. Is it enough? Blinking as well from the Enigma. Popping his mech. It's still not quite sufficient to save Super. No Black Hole for a few seconds. And with that, they'll try to stagger the retreat. FY out of mana. Doesn't have a next Burrow Strike. There's a Time Walk into the trees. DD now going for the TP out. 4-step. Stomp is there. Great awareness for Black. Predicting that movement perfectly and able to finish him off, but they're not done. FY will find more. He Burrow Strikes through, killing off Xiao 8 Sandkane, and the rest of the team will make their way out. So in the end, turns out to be a 2-for-1. Your Axe is now complete, and FY, he's starting to really pull ahead of his team. 9k net worth to the Centaur.
It's kind of insane.
This is getting... I've seen Sandkanes that are like close to their enemy, their allied 3 position, maybe even the 2, but FY, he's not a 4 position any longer, so this is officially a hard carry Sandkane. Blink in, the Burrow Strike's there, he sets up another. He's been involved in 20 out of 28 as a friggin' Sandkane at 22
level
minutes.
16.
Jesus.
Oh my god, that's kind of crazy.
Player.
And then getting the Ags now, he can pretty much... Oh my god,
he's just picking them off. 820 has no respect for him. Shows himself on the high ground, lets FY walk up to him. And just gets... Oh, no. FY did kind of use the tree line here, so it wasn't super obvious that he was coming, but... He's just picking them apart.
The Manta Style has been completed for Joe here, so that's an important item. And if you disregard the 2 kills that just happened mid, I think OB won the last 2 minutes.
Another one.
They got the
Come
tier
on.
2 top.
Not again. Not again.
How is this still working? Like, how can they keep doing this?
Okay, that's basically just a feed.
3 times in a row in the mid lane.
There's like 5 heroes off the map. You just saw these 2. I mean, some of these are literally just FY being fed kills more than anything. But that said, he's had some great burrows in the team fights as well. Well, he's really closing in on the Terror Blade
to make
now.
these kind of mistakes. They're too good for this, to be honest. I'm really surprised to see it. I mean, it might be the old boys, but the dementia here is really too strong in that team. That's kind of unbearable what just happened there, to be honest.
They have some great new treatments for Alzheimer's, and so
yeah.
Hopefully those will be provided soon to the old boys. They have the money for it, between Joe's TI2 victory and, well, especially Xiao 8's TI4. He should be able to fund the entire team's medical treatment.
Might want to grab some of those meds, but yeah, they just lost. No, they're not losing this tier 2. I think, oh, this has to be a good chrono. No, he gets stopped!
Always ready. They had the sentry in the lane. They just can't catch a break. The boat will connect on 2. Black Hole was there, though. Ice leaping forward with his Blink Dagger right past the boat. Now the Epi can come through. Goes on to 820. That's all he gets as he's disrupted, but no animation for it. Then burrows through and finishes off Long DD. A double kill for FY. Man, that damage with the extra pulse is too much. 4 dead. Vici Gaming. It might be over, Sint. Honestly. They've got the late game.
To think about how OB were starting to pull back after they got a good fight, then they got the tier 2 top that they sacrificed 2 heroes for, but in the last 3 minutes they've sacrificed 8 heroes and 2 towers. And, you know, to be bluntly honest, the first kill was okay, right? The Void got caught out, and then they kept falling for the same trick 3 times, then they lost their tier 2. And then, I don't want to say they fell for the same trick in the top lane, because they were actually under cover of Mirana ult, but the detection was there. And they lost even more, and yeah, you're right.
I mean, they kind of are falling for the same trick at this point. FY just keeps running with Blink Dagger. He doesn't even have a 4-staff and just jumping them. Oh my goodness. He ends
really
this game as the most farmed hero in the game. A jungle Sand King who roamed a lot early. His jungle was warded as well, mind you. He was not able to stack his big camp. His Blink Dagger was still at a good time. He ends this game the most farmed, probably the most leveled as well. Yeah, level 17 Sand King.
Points.
He wins every category outside of kills. He's 1 short of Black Centaur, who was KSing as he has half the assists of FY.
Yeah, he also had the least denies on his team and less last hits than
wow, okay, never mind. FY's terrible. Absolutely
pretty
terrible.
Outstanding performance from FY in this game. He pretty much only had 1 or 2 mistakes in a 25-minute game as Sand King. That's pretty amazing, and he really put the team on his back in this one. When it looked the worst, he pumped out these 3-4 hero burrow strikes, and of course that's kind of a combination, right? If you land 4 hero burrow strikes, it means first of all you see a great opening, but also that the enemy team is out of position. And OB, they kind of seemed to lose focus at some point in the game, especially toward the end when they just kind of threw bodies at the enemy team, but also during some team fights, a little bit uncharacteristic for such experienced players to be as out of position as they were, and a player like FY will just punish that right away, as well as Black with some great blink 3-man hoof stomps. We also saw 2 or 3 of those, and then the team fights just go their way.
Well, with that, guys, it's now a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. It could quickly become a 3-0 sweep, but we'll see if the old boys can strike back or if it's just going to be easy money here for Vici Gaming at iLeague. OB said that Vici Gaming would probably beat them 3-0 or maybe 3-1. Vici Gaming said easy 3-0. Well, time to find out if those predictions are true. We'll take a quick break. I'm LD, he's Cinder, and you're watching iLeague, brought to you by Beyond the Summit, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.